Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast, where we talk about happiness, success, full potential. We use this podcast as a way of answering the questions we get from the work we do on social media, from our blog, from whatever coaching and teaching sessions we do. And we help to be a voice of reason, a voice of guidance, because we believe, as Samuel L. Jackson says, that we often need to be reminded more than we need to be instructed. So we use this podcast to answer questions that we get at scale, because we also understand, and it has been proven, that the problems that we have is common in the human race. Somebody is going through it now, somebody has been through it, or somebody is about to go through it. So the experience is most times already out there. It might be in a different fashion with a couple of different angles to it, but it's pretty much the same. People have relationship problems, people want to start a business, people want to find their purpose, people want to be happy, mainly people want to be free. And we focus on that, how to build your business, become free, how to believe in yourself, and how to pretty much figure out the psychological aspect of it, because life and business is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. Mechanically, everybody knows, for example, how to lose weight. The information is everywhere. You need to eat less and move more. Don't matter how the calorie count and the protein versus carb and the keto and all that stuff is pretty much the mechanics. Everybody knows it, but few people get to do it. And the reason why, it's not because diet plans don't work. It's not because your body is not responding to this and that. Is the reason why it doesn't work for most people is the psychology of it. And that's where we come in mainly. We come in where the psychology part, which is the largest part, is concerned. And we help to guide people and subsequently help to better ourselves so we can better serve. Because that's where we come from. We come from a position of service, serving, impacting, pouring life into lives, because we believe that there's no better use of our lives and our days here on earth but to serve each other, to play our part in a world that has done so great for us, meaning people have come up and have done a marvelous job at securing and building the environment that we now get to live in, which is the best times since recorded history. We get to live in the best times, and that's an honor for us. It has never been so great in the history of the world, and I am so grateful to be a part of this. We have athletes who have, for example, performed exemplary well 25 years ago, and they don't get to experience the life that people who have performed 10 grades below them as athletes are experiencing now. There's so much opportunities, there's so much avenues, there's so much experiences to have, there's so much connection, there's so much relationships to form, there's so many ways to make an impact out here now than ever was before. And I often say to people, like, we grew up in a culture where my grandmother say, well, there's no better out there, and this is what we do. And that was real for them. There was hardly any better under those circumstances. But somehow we're transferring that to ourselves. We're saying there's no better, which is a total bomb. It's a total lie. It's a total cop-out. There's so much more better, but because we're cultured and we get into the distraction zone, or we get into the self-pity zone, we retreat to that old cultural saying, and we think it can abscond us. We think we can, it exonerates us, for want of a better word, from living up to our full potential, our true potential. So we are here to help to guide you back, to get you back on track, to help you maintain. And it's a good segue into our question today. Our question is, Lewin, you have helped me so much. Thank you. You have helped me to get started. For years I procrastinated. For years I doubted myself. For years I didn't believe. I've gotten started. I'm going good in business and in personal development, in being a better person, a better family person, better wife, a better mother. and my business is going good. I cannot afford to mess this up, Lowen. Is there anything you can tell me that I need to be using or being mindful of right now to serve as a bit of motivation and guidance for me, so now that I'm on course, I can stay on track? And that's a powerful question, and it is really an intelligent question, because you know, when I was starting out, I've done so many businesses in my life. Must have been close to 30 different businesses. And one of the businesses that I was in is into hair care products. I had two different businesses in hair care. I used to distribute it, maybe three. I used to distribute hair care products. I had a hair brand, a personal wig, false hair, synthetic hair brand, human hair, whatever, that type of stuff brand. And I also had a hair care product brand where I sell, I still have the brand. It's LK's, and we're selling castor oil, organic castor oil and organic coconut oil. So those are two products and we're selling them. So when we're getting off the ground, we started and we're selling it in the US market, but it needed better labeling. So I was researching the label facts, and I was trying to improve the label so I could get it on a wider scale and make it look better. Because first we were just doing it rough and dirty and selling it to our circle and friends of friends. So we decided that we're going to level it up and we're going to improve it. Now it was going well, and we're changing this label. And it was such a annoying, painstaking tweaking. The artwork wasn't coming out right, the printers wasn't getting it right, the facts were wrong, and I took 8 months to revamp that label. And the mistake I made was I kind of shut it down and pulled back, saying, okay, a new label is coming, so let's just slow down until the new label come. And I wasn't keeping up with the regular process, because I was like, okay, I'm relaunching. Took me 8 months. You know why it took me 8 months? Because I was pumped up to start when I had the business opportunity that was going. But in the middle of it now, when I was transition, I was dragging. I was distracted. I wasn't so fired up. And I started to slack off. Because the key thing to note here is that the motivation that gets you started is a different motivation to get you continuing in the process. When you're not so hungry, when you have something to eat, when you have a little money in your pocket, you're not as fired up as when you have nothing, when it's your only option, when it's do or die, when you got to do something. So note that there will become a point, like it came for me, when it's easier. Like because the mind works like that. The mind doesn't care about results. I'm telling you this. Listen this really. The mind doesn't care about results. The mind is into chase. The mind is into the chasing. The thrill is in the chase. You ever heard that? The thrill is in the chase. The mind like to go after it. A kid is happier on Christmas morning anticipating his toys than he is Christmas afternoon 2 minutes into playing with the toy. The mind is like that. It's anticipation. We call it hedonistic adaptation, meaning that you adapt to it as soon as you get it and your mind start to want something else. So here are you, for example, wanting to revamp and reorganize and refurbish your living room. So you rip down that wall, you give it an open concept, you put some mirrors that place, you have the dining, you go straight into dining, you put a big island there, and you change the TV in the living room and it looks like a nice wide open spread. And you sit in that living room and you say, wow, today. And tomorrow you might say, wow, and you're like, oh, this looks so awesome. We did a good job here. This is so great. You invite some friends over. And you're sitting there, and after you finish cleaning up and everybody's gone, you're looking at the sliding door that you just installed, and you look outside, and what you see outside is an empty space with a couple of flower pots. You're like, wow, I want a pool there. This would make this view really perfect now. Now you're gone to the pool. You're done with the kitchen. It's there. It's not a big deal anymore. It doesn't feel such of a rush to get. You're past that. That's hedonistic adaptation. You adapt to the things you get quickly, and the mind is after another chase. That's why people end up with 200 shoes. That's why people have 100 cars. That's why people have 3 jets. Because when you get it, it's done. And the mind does that. So it's the same thing with you and the business. It's the same thing with me and my business. I got it. Now, to continue on, it takes a different type of motivation. So now you have to look out for your levels. And it's not so unhealthy all the time, because leveling up and growing is the essence of life. Growth is the essence of life. If you are to do it well, you have to grow it, because there's only 2 positions. You either grow or you fall backward. That's it. You're either creating or you're degenerating. So it's healthy. But I'm telling you that you're not always going to feel that fire. So what you need is a systems of checks and balances and a process system. That's what will keep you on track. Just now, when you're still having that bit of hunger, you need to put systems in place. Systems to check off your progress against, which would have your goals, your plans, your outcomes, what your weeks end up in, what are your targets and your budget, and then the processes, a systemized process that's supposed to get you to the end. And now is when you get real with yourself, meaning that you start to say what it is that I like to do. As soon as you get a little bit of money, or you're going to bust your ass until you can get to that threshold of funds and resources. What is it that I enjoy doing? What is a drag on my energy and I hate to do it? I want to get rid of it so quickly. And I'd advise you to, if you have to cut some of the luxuries out of your life, if you have to make a little bit more sacrifice, you make that sacrifice to outsource these things. Because the quickest way to fall off and to get burnt out is to continue to try to push to do these things when you probably don't have to. Let's say you have a restaurant and you're selling 100 plates a day, and that 100 plates pay the bills, but your ideal number is 3,500 in the first 6 months. But in order to that 3,500, you need to pay somebody what is the equivalent of 200 like 50 more plates. But you probably don't have the money yet. Well, look at how you can cut something. Look at how you can go harder to level up something so it can pay that person, so you don't have to probably cook the rice, or you don't have to go get the supplies because it's burning you up. Because tell you what, if you're selling 100 plates and you have to get supplies 2 times a week, but to sell out 150, you'd have to get supplies 3 times a week, and you hate getting supplies, you probably settle at 100 plates. Because after a while, if you're covered with 100 plates, you don't want to do 50, because you hate one part of the process and it's killing you. Because we're human beings, and you must admit what are your strengths and what you hate doing, and what are your weaknesses and what you don't mind, and what you'd outsource at the drop of a hat. And start to see, how can I sacrifice, or how can I grind a little more so I can get this off my plate quickly. So you're going to set out your whole system. This is what I do. This is what I don't mind doing. This has to go. This has to go first thing off my plate. I don't want to do it. And this is my target. This is when I should get to it. And these are the things that I should be doing every day. This is who checked me off. This is how I check off. This is when I check off. So on Saturday night, when I'm not tired, usually I'm chilling and I have half an hour to just reflect on my business and do my paperwork. This 35 minutes or the 10 minutes after my paperwork, I work for 45 minutes or 40 minutes with my papers to figure out my numbers and all. This 10 minutes is to tick off what happened this week. Did I run my Facebook ad? Did 2 ads go out? Was it 3 ad sets? Did I connect with my supplier and do this? Did I read this book on that? Did I watch the video on this course? Did I call the supplier to get a lower price? And you check off. Because if you're not checking off and if you're not following your system, when the motivation fades, when you get tired, when you can't bother, you will leave it alone because you're comfortable. You will put it off. You'll kick the can down the road. You'll procrastinate because you're comfortable. You're not so hungry anymore. It's not about exactly paying the bill. It's not about exactly putting food in the house. So it's getting by. You're good. The motivation that gets you started doesn't carry you through the process. It's a different type of motivation. So that's why you see franchises and businesses run like that. The first thing they geek out about, the thing that they spend most of their time on, is a system. A system to make sure things happen. Because nobody has that mental width and that mental prowess to just follow that all day, every time, and to make sure this stays in place, because there are always occurrences and distractions that happen. But if you have a system that says, okay, I open at 8 in the mornings, and every morning there's one person coming, and this one person does these 15 things, because these are the 15 things that make us work and make money and make us grow and make this thing run properly. They must check off these 15 things. There's somebody to make sure and hold them accountable. If they do these 15 things, I should acquire and achieve this result by midday, by 2 p.m. Why? Because that's what we have been doing all the time to make that happen. If that is not happening, something is wrong. I need to go in and check. If you don't have that, 24 weeks will pass and you start to wonder, well, you know, all this time, you notice I'm only making $1,500. I should be making $2,500. I'm opening the shop at the same time. The people are coming in. I didn't change location. I still put the same thing on the menu. And 24 weeks is too late to be realizing that. You want to know that every week. You want to see. You want to stay on plan. You want to go and see, hey, what's going on here? Let me work this 5 days and see what happened. Okay, I made it. So why wasn't it being made last week? All right? Something is happening, but I can't be here to know what's happening. What am I going to do? I'm going to shout at these people. Well, you shout at them, you turn your back, it's same thing happened. Put in your surveillance system. You watch half an hour of that video. You see what's going on. You understand that, look, you know, this person is mean at the counter. This person is not serving quick enough. This person is frustrating my customers. Or, well, I was there, nothing changed, but we still didn't make the money. Oh, wow. Somebody say, hey, you know, what, this guy who used to come in and he used to buy for his business people, or he used to, we used to do that office, but the guys over there have switched to that person. Wow. Why did they switch? Let me go over there and talk to them. Can I do anything to get them back here? What's happening? What's wrong with my taste? And you figure it out early. So, those are the two things you're looking out for. You need to first understand that the motivation that gets you started is not the one, or will not be in existence so much when you're in process, when you're going on, when things are progressing. And two, the way to do it is to have a system to run the process and a system to test the process. So you have a system that carry out the day-to-day operation that should yield this result at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month. And you are going to check it off. You're going to double check it to see if you're getting those results. If you are not getting those results, if you're not tracking it, then you won't know, and you will be all over the place, and you go 6 months trying to scramble to find out what has happened over the past 6 months, and then it will be too late. Because if it was your competition, if it was your staff, the whole thing would have become crazy already. It takes so long to fix, or you won't be able to fix it. So now, first, you need the motivation to kickstart it. Now you need systems to run it, and you need systems to check it. That's how it works. So that is my bit to you. You'll get tired, problems will occur, you'll have all these things, you'll have distraction, you'll have to go do something will, you'll be sick. All these things will happen. But the thing that will keep you going, the thing that keep businesses going and people keeping on track with what they are to do are systems. Systems work, people fail. That's why you see with the artists and the people that go out here and they do 1 record and they do 2 records and 2 albums and they pull back. They're either tired or they don't have a system. They go, wow, whoa, man. I didn't do anything all year. Now I'm not relevant anymore. I got 2 shows because they have no system. They don't have a way to say, okay, I have to get 3 songs out there. I don't have 3 songs, for example. All right? Who's going to write? Who's going to produce these 3 for me? Where am I going to get 3 from? Because every month I have to have 3, or every 3 months I have to have 1 for me to have 5 a year or 6 a year. And usually in that 6 there's 1 that usually keep me relevant and give me 5 shows, or however that works. So you just like the athletes in training, okay? I go into training 6 months before a championship. My training is this. I am supposed to wake up at 4 in the morning. I do a session. I go back home. From 12, I do another session. From 6, I do another session. I get 8 hours of rest. This is my diet. This is my practice. This is my time. And we check off and we track and we watch our progress. And we make sure that we are doing the process daily and we're ticking it off against the checkpoints, the audit. That's how you do it. So apply that and let me know. And I hope you keep rocking it. And do not rely on motivation. Rely on system. We are human beings. We're all human beings. And no matter what you hear everybody say, oh, I am this, I'm a top performer, and I sit and do, like, forget that. Know what works for you, and know that if you can't find the motivation, you will not always find it, and you need systems to keep you on track. Have a good one. Take care, guys. Always a pleasure. Reach out to me, Lewin Motivator Car on Instagram, Lewin Motivator Car on Facebook, Success Academy on YouTube. Thank you so much. Have a good one.